Hello, Shemai, and welcome back to my wild Welsh garden. Well, as you can see, it isn't actually raining, so I've come out of my summer house and I'm sitting out in the garden. And because it isn't actually raining, I thought this would be a good opportunity to investigate my bird boxes. Some of them have been up for several years, and some of them have just gone up this year, so I'm not expecting anything from those. The RSPB recommend that you clean your nest boxes out in the autumn, so any time after September. So as it's now October, I thought this would be the ideal time. And I've got my tools, I've got my screwdriver for unscrewing screws, and I have my brush for cleaning out the box. Okay, so that's where we're off to this morning. So this is a nest box for blue tits or great tits on my front fence, and it's been there for 3 years, and as far as I know, nothing's ever nested in it. So we'll go and take a look. So I've unscrewed the screw that was keeping the side down, and what's inside? Oh my goodness me, there's a little egg and a tiny little bit of nesting material. So I don't know what happened there, but we'll clear it out and see. So that's what was in that nesting box, a tiny little bit of nesting material and one egg. So I don't know what went wrong there. Perhaps it was a young pair that didn't quite know what they were doing. Maybe next year, if they survive, maybe they'll be better. Let's hope so. Let's hope they come back next year and have a bit more success. This area I call the breakfast room because it gets the sun in the morning, and there's a table and a chair where I can sit and have my breakfast. And over there on the trellis there is a blue tit box which has been there for a few years, and I don't think there's been anything nesting in it this year, but 2 previous years the birds successfully brought up families. So there is some nesting material there, but it doesn't look like they made a proper nest. I'll take it out and just see what's there. So this is what was inside. I did think I'd seen blue tits flying in with nesting material, but not going in to feed young. So it looks like they started to build a nest, and for whatever reason it never got completed. I mean, they might have changed their minds, or maybe one of them was predated, you know, by a sparrow hawk or just a domestic cat. There's plenty of domestic cats around here. So that's a bit sad, but I'll clean it out and screw it back up again, and hope for better things next year. I'll have to just move these branches aside of this big buddleia, but that's a box that we actually brought with us. My husband made it He used to make ever so many of these boxes, and he'd put them up all over the place. But this was one we brought with us, and so it's been there for 5 years. The first year I had blue tits in it, but never since. So I don't know what's happened there, but they don't like it for some reason. But I'll leave it there. Maybe one day somebody will come along and see it as a desirable residence. So this is the last of the blue tit great tit boxes. It's on the side of the summer house behind a honeysuckle that you can see is just flowering a little bit. And this went up the same time as the one on the trellis, and in previous years again has successfully the birds have successfully reared broods in it, but again this year I don't think anybody's been in it at all. So we'll unscrew it and have a look. So look at that, absolutely empty. So nobody's even tried to build a nest in there. Oh dear. Oh well, we'll screw it back up again and again hope for better things next year. So that's the end of the bird boxes that I know have had birds and young in previous years. Now this is a blackbird box. This is on the other side of the summer house, and that's only just gone up. So that's ready for occupancy next year, and if I could have a blackbird nesting in there, that would make me very happy. So hanging up in the corner here, just by the trellis, and very hidden now behind a rose called Rambling Rosie, that's lovely and red. There's a very Instagram worthy box that I put up for the robins. It's an old watering can, and of course they have totally ignored it. And those are the Rambling Rosie flowers. In the spring it's just covered with them and it looks absolutely fabulous. And then here at the back of the polytunnel, in the part that's of course going to be the wild, long, grassy, weedy, wild flowery area, behind this winter honeysuckle, there is a robin box. Well, the robins didn't like my lovely watering can nest. This has only just gone up this year as well, so let's hope they like that one a bit better. And then in addition to those, on the back of my house, I don't know if you can see, I'll try and zoom in a bit without making everybody sick. There is on the left a swift box, and on the right, just up there, a box for house martins. And they were put up this spring, so I wasn't expecting anything to come and occupy them this year, but I was hoping that the new sort of fledglings would see them and sort of earmark them for next year. There are house martins around lower down the village. There's a couple of old barns and I think they live in there, and they do fly over the garden, so I just hope that they've seen that and thought, right, that's where we'll go next year. And there are swifts around. I don't know whether they nest around here, but they are around, and you know, I'm just thinking, if you can't attract swifts at the top of the Swansea Valley, it's a pretty poor do. So I've actually got a loudspeaker that plays swift calls, which is supposed to attract them. I didn't get it up in time to play it this spring because I didn't know how to do that, but my brother and his wife came and set it all up for me, so it's ready to go for next spring. But I did play it at the end of the summer when I thought they might have been sort of flying around you know, doing a recce for next year, the young birds. So we'll see what happens. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I can't say that I'm surprised. I hadn't seen any behaviour that you would associate with adults feeding young in the nest. So I didn't think anything had successfully reared any chicks. It's not all disappointment though, because I've always had plenty of birds visiting the garden, and often I had families of blue tits and great tits coming to the bird feeders. So I think the reason why they haven't nested in my garden is because I am actually surrounded by woodland, and so I think that there are plenty of natural nesting sites for all the garden birds. Well, the RSPB say build it and they will come, and yes they do, but they also go away again. But that's absolutely fine, and I'm not going to take offence at all. So as you can see, the sun came out this afternoon and it's really quite warm. We're having a little mini heat wave. So I've been out round the garden seeing what I can see, and there are quite a few insects around. There's some on the ivy, some on the flowers, and some sunning themselves on the side of my shed in the sunshine. The problem is they don't hang around on the flowers, and I think that's probably because there's not enough nectar for them. So they were quite difficult to film. As soon as I got my phone out and ready, they were gone. But I did see a queen buff-tailed bumblebee, and I did see a small tortoiseshell butterfly. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit to my wild Welsh garden. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching. If you'd like to come again, please do hit the subscribe button and like the video. Thank you for all your positive and helpful comments. It's lovely to read them and to have you along accompanying me on my journey. So I'm just going to sit here in the sunshine as the sun goes down and watch the insects and have a glass of wine. So cheers, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Hwyl am y tro!